for How Market. Good evening and welcome to Business Hub, where we bridge the gap between business owners and their target market. My name is Omobolanle Adeshuyi, and today on Business Hub we have something interesting to talk to you about, as we usually do. I have with me live in the studio Akingbade Akinkumi Abraham from Bigger International Consults Limited. Good evening.
Hi, good evening. How are you?
I'm very well. Good to have you on the show today.
It's a pleasure.
So tell us about Bigger Consult.
Bigger International Consult is an education consulting company
Okay.
based in Nigeria. We've been around since 2014. That should be about 5
5 years.
And basically, we are into education consulting. We counsel students who want to leave Nigeria
Okay.
to study outside, either in Europe, Asia, North America, South America, anywhere. And we have about 297 institutions to date that we partner with. And it's also interesting to know that apart from the fact that we are licensed in Nigeria, we are also licensed outside the country to represent those schools that we work with.
So how many, aside the countries you've mentioned, what are the other countries where you represent?
Where we have partnerships with schools in 17 nations.
Okay.
And that includes China, India, Canada, the US, the UK, just to mention a few of them. We have in Germany, we have in Poland, we have in Spain, we have in Italy, we have in Netherlands. And then,
so all you're interested in is education. What about vacations? What about maybe you want to just go out on honeymoon? Do you make such arrangements too?
yes, we do. We do with tourism. We assist with honeymoon arrangements and all of that.
Okay, so you've been on for 5 years now. What have been some of the challenges you've faced as a travel agency?
Now, the number one thing that comes to the minds of Nigerians, perhaps as a result of past experiences, is that quite a number of times they've been either duped or people have told them the wrong thing. And so that's a major challenge in the industry.
So how do you deal with it?
Well, first, when we came in, one of the things we had to do was to ensure that, one, we had the right O, the right peg in the right O.
Okay.
And that, by that we simply mean that we ensured that we have partnerships. Like I said, as I said, ours is that we have partnerships. We are genuine. We have partnerships with 297 schools where we represent them. And of course, the world is a global village whereby we could go on the internet, surf the net, and then you could gather information. But the truth about it is, so many of us in Africa, I use the word Africa, that includes everywhere. In Africa, we are either too lazy to go online to read. If you Google our name, Bigger International Consult, you see a few of the world organizations that we belong to. And so with us, we are sure that you are safe.
So there are so many travel agencies around now. So what makes Bigger Consult different?
Well, I've actually said this while I was doing the introduction. Now, at Bigger International Consult, we are a member of the world-renowned agency.
Okay.
Now, for instance, we're a member of Uni Agents. That's where universities meet with agents. It's a corporate body. We're a member of ICEF, and that's International Consultants for Education and Affairs. And so we belong to a few of them. That is what makes us different. We can't afford to do what others do. There are organizations, there are measures that are put in place that checkmates us in all of those that we do.
So when you started Bigger Consult, do you have, for instance, these partners, what made them come on board? Did you go to them, or it was just something that came up naturally?
One of the things that they consider is credibility. Now, Nigeria has been known to be a country where we have the good people and then they also good people. So credibility comes into play. Schools don't just sign up agreements with you. They have to be sure, one, you're credible, and of course integrity. And that has always been the watchword of our organization. We look out for our integrity. We are sure what we tell you is what you say.
Okay.
Now, quite a number of agencies where they want to win you to themselves, say all manner of things. Don't worry, you can do this when you get there, you can do that, you can do this. And at the end of the day, it's not always the story. So it leaves students stranded. It leaves people who want to travel stranded and all of that. So, but with us, we have ensured that all of this, we tell you how it is. And like I said, by privilege, we are in 17 nations. So we are not talking based on what we are hearing or reading. And like I jokingly say most times to a few of our clients, I say, one man can wake up after a full bowl of eba and gets on the internet and writes, Canada is the most, and then types of man after one full bowl of eba. So that means it is not always so when you are in a place. We have an opportunity to travel a few countries, of course, outside of the 17 nations, and we know what obtains and how it obtains there. And then some of these schools that we also have partnerships with actually invite us to come over, like a farm trip, for us to see what the school is, what it looks like, what they stand for, and of course that way, when we tell you about things, we are sure because we have been there.
So what are the criteria for students who want to be a part of this trip?
Now, not want to be a part of the trip, is only for the organization. The trip is for the organization.
Okay, so you said you help students to go outside the country to get educated, to school. So I'm saying that for those students, how do you select them?
Now, for undergraduates, there are 4 basic things that you need. You need the biodata page of your international passport. That's the front page. That has your picture and your information. And then the next thing is you need either your O-levels result, which is either your WAEC, your NECO, or your GCE. And then of course you also need a testimonial. That's a secondary school living testimonial. And then you also need a personal statement. Why have you decided to study the course you want to study? And why have you chosen? Why the choice of your location? Those are the 4 basic things that you need to get admission.
So do you provide scholarship? Are there scholarship?
Yeah, some of the schools, like I said earlier, we have about 292 schools that we have partnerships. Over 292 schools that we have partnerships with. Some of these schools actually provide scholarship as much as to the tune of 100%, 75%, 50%, and 25%. And very soon we're going to be writing a scholarship exam. Now, this is a platform where all students can take advantage. You write the exam, depending on how well you do in the exam, then it determines the level of scholarship that you can get from some of our partner institutions.
But for those who have to pay, is there any instrumental arrangement whereby they can pay bit by bit?
Yes, there are. Now, I know of a student who, when she got into school, made an arrangement with the parents and the school, and they were paying the tuition on a monthly basis of what they could afford. So there are instrumental payments for them, but of course, basic thing you must know is for you to study outside of the country. Gone are those days when people believe you need millions, or maybe tens of millions for you to study outside the country. No, it will interest you to know that we have some of schools in Europe whose tuition is around 4,000 euros. That means with 4,000 euros a year, you are good to go studying. We have some schools in Cyprus, some in Russia, we have some schools in North America, we have some schools in South America, where with less than $5,000 you are good to go for studying. So the notion that you must be a millionaire, it's for you to study outside of the country, it's gradually getting to fade out.
How do you deal with the fears that people have, especially with the fact that they feel that some of these travel agencies are scammers?
Okay, well, there's a platform where when clients comes to us and you want to talk directly with the school, we create a platform whereby you can. And of course, for all of the schools that we have partnerships with, we have a certificate of representation that tells you that, oh, of a truth, Bega International Council is representing this particular school in Nigeria. And so when you come in, we create a platform for you to get to talk to the school directly if you want to, and then with that we get on with the processing of of the admission.
So where are you located? How many places? Is it just in Ibadan?
No, we have offices in Ibadan, we have offices in Ekiti, we have in Lagos, and presently we are also working on some other locations.
Is there any special package you're working on for students and those who plan to travel with you?
Yes, for this next admission, we are working on getting more scholarships for our students. Last year alone, we got almost 52 million naira scholarship worth 52 million naira for some of our students. And this year we are ensuring we get more for our students, and so they can maximize in it. Now the truth about it is, information, they say, is power. Most people don't have information about how to go with about processing the admission or getting admission into the university that has low cost. So if your budget is low, you can get to talk to us, and then we can tell you the options that are available for you, and then with that you can make a choice of where you want your words to be. And of course, let me quickly also state that one of the fears of parents wanting to leave their wards is that security. Now the truth about it is, all of these countries where we have partnerships with and the ones we don't even are safe. Now, because that is always the first thing we consider where we want to place students into school.
And is there a refund policy if, for instance, a student changes his or her mind as regards the travel plan?
Yes, it's the refund policy is there by the school. Once you are either your visa is refused, or for one reason or the other you won't be able to make the slot, yes, there is a refund policy by the school on the tuition deposit that you've already made. It's totally there.
So for those who travel with you, as regards maybe going to work abroad, have you ever had any cases of people who eventually do not go or do not do exactly what they say they are going to do, and then maybe they just disappear without even completing their payments?
No. Why is this? We have made it so easy for everyone, either for the work and study option, or for the migration option, or either for the study option. Now, the terms and conditions are well spelled out. And then gone are those days when people would tell you, get into Canada, you have to go work in so many places and all of that. And at the end of the day, you find yourself doing something totally different from what you are told. With us, it's not like that. Like I said, we have a name to protect. We've been on for about 5 years now. And we have our license, and of course we won't really do anything to have it revoked.
All right, we'll go on this short break and then we'll be back. It is Business Hub right here on IATV Africa. Welcome back to Business Hub on ITV Africa. My name is Omobolanle Adeshui, and of course, with me live in the studio is Akingbade Akinkumi Abraham from Biga International Consults Limited. So we were talking about the fact that some people do not even trust some travel agencies enough, and then they tell them that they want to go abroad to work, and then they do something else eventually. And you said that you've never had such situations happen. But when you consider the income in travel agency business, how is it?
Well, the truth about it is what brought us into business wasn't the money part. It is the fact that, when I was much younger, every kid wakes up every morning and with a desire to have a better future. And then you discover that right now isn't happening in this part of the country where we are in. Cases here today, tomorrow, ASU striking like thunders and all of that. And then you wonder what's the education of Nigeria turning into. So what brought us into business was in the business side of it. The truth about it is this: the school pays us to do what we do. So we are not really focused on the money you're going to give to us. What we are focusing on is ensuring that we work for the betterment. We work every day in, day out to ensure the betterment of the Nigerian populace. We want our people to take advantage of what is available. Now, it will interest you to know, Mobolale, that outside the country, for you to be recognized or stand so strong, there must be a particular quota of international students you must have in your institution. Now, take for instance Webster University in the US. There must be a quota of international students that she must have. So that tells us that if they don't have such, then they don't rise up in the rankings. Those are some of the things they consider. So what brought us into business isn't the money. It's for us to be able to share information, let the people be aware of the opportunities that lies ahead with them. So that's why we are in business.
So how did you choose your partners? What criteria, what formed the choice of the kind of partners you work with?
The quality of education offered. Now, of the over 292 schools that we have, one of the things that we have always watched out for is the quality. Of what quality are these institutions? And then number two is that are they recognized? Of what value is it for you having studied 3 years for a bachelor's degree program, and then you're back in the country and the Federal Ministry of Education in Nigeria says no, we are not accepting this certificate? It doesn't make any sense. So those are the things, some of the things that we consider. And of course, I've also said that in the places where we work, in the nations where we work with, we ensure that security. Now, parents, especially in Nigeria, don't want to leave their wards and they can't go to bed. So we ensure that security is there. And we're also, apart from those two factors, there are other things that we also consider, just like they also consider before selecting agents. Agents don't just wake up one morning and say, yeah, I'm now working with this particular universities. No, they consider quite a number of things, which of course we also do. Now, by the time a parent comes to you, this is my daughter or this is my son wants to go to school. Now they trust us enough to live out their words. So we should be able to trust the school enough by knowing that, okay, if you tell us the refund policy is there, then it should really be there. So these are some of the things that we also consider before partnering with.
So what are the step-by-step, what is the step-by-step process that someone who wants to travel with you should take to travel?
Now, I said for the undergraduates earlier. Now for the postgraduate, what do you need? You need your bachelor's degree, certificate, you need a transcript, you need a biodata page of international passport, and then also you need your O-levels result. Those are the basic things. And then the personal statements, also stating why you want to study, the course you want to study, and why you have decided to choose the locations that you want. So those are basically the things you need.
And of course the money.
Yes, money, yes. Now the truth is, most people who want to travel out of the country knows it will cost them money. So we tell you what is exact thing coming at you. without assumptions. You know, if you want to study in Canada, you must have living expenses. Even though there is a clause in the agreement, every student in most nations are allowed to work for 20 hours a week, but that would not cover up for your tuition. So we also make sure that you have the tuition that you want to study.
Do you provide accommodation?
Well, we have bodies that we work with who provide accommodations for students who wishes to stay outside of campus. But if you wish to stay on campus, the universities provide homestay or hostel accommodations.
And how has the turnout been so far for the 5 years you've been in business now?
Well, successfully we have been able to place well over 720 applications as a last year admission, and this year also we are looking at increasing on our numbers.
Do you have special packages, especially for festive seasons? For instance, people who want to go out to spend their Christmas abroad, people who want to spend Easter abroad, and all those kind of events.
We also have packages for families who want to spend their annual vacation, or after the rigorous academic session. You are going off break, which is always between June and September. Yeah, we have programs are available where your kids can also learn some new things, go boating, go snow, and all of that. And then we also have where they can also learn cultures, learn languages, learn a few other things. Where parents can also relax, get the stress off you, and then all of that. Yeah, we have.
So are those also free, or are they just perks of the package?
Well, they are not free. Even in Freetown, things
nothing is free.
Okay, so they come, but of course the cost compared to the value you get is.
Okay, give us your contact address.
Well, in Ibadan, we're at Amen Plaza, Block E, Plot 1, 70 Adventist Road, Okebola Shopping Complex. That's just behind Agonko Police Station. That's where we're in Ibadan. In Ekiti, we have offices in Ekiti, I've said, we have also in Festac. You could get into our website, www.biggainternationalconsult.com. You get more information about us. You could also call us on 081 76 00100. I come again, 081 76 00100.
How about on social media?
On social media, we're on Instagram at Bigger Consult. On Twitter, we are at Bigger Consult 1. And then on Facebook at Bigger Consult.
Is there any other thing you'd like us to know?
Well, we also offer trainings in test of language. Now, last year, November, I got a certificate as one of the best trainers in IELTS in Nigeria. And so when it comes to IELTS trainings, and that was the certificate was awarded by the British Council. When it comes to IELTS, when it comes to IELTS in Nigeria, our result speaks for us. Now, on the average, when someone comes to us and has the average band score of 7.5, we are not really like, but when you have 8.5, 8.0, yes, that's our level. So if you want to arc your IELTS at once, you're planning to migrate, and then you want to write IELTS, or as a student you want to write IELTS, yes, with us, you are sure that you can get the results you want.
All right, we'll just have to wrap it up there. Thank you so much, Mr. Akingbade Akekumi Abraham from Bigger International Consult Limited. It's been nice having you on Business Hub.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
All right, that's where we call it a day on Business Hub today. Thank you so much for being a part of Business Hub, where we connect business owners with their target market. My name is Omobolanle Adeshuyi. Good evening.